Hello and welcome to Arsenal Above All. They usually say when time flies when you're having fun, but it definitely flies by when you're sitting at the top of the league. The mighty Arsenal recorded their 12th win out of 13 this season, following a hellish 90 minutes plus injury time against Leeds United. To pick the bones with me tonight, I have two very special guests. I've got Neil Shah. Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for having me on again. Really appreciate it. So thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Obviously, another win to talk about.
Feeling like a champion, Michael? That's what I need to know. That's all I need to know, son.
Can I have no comment on that? Can I do a Liz Truss on that?
You don't need to ask me though, do you?
Yeah, no. We'll ask you later anyway. So that's all right. And we have a debutant tonight who gets his first AAA cap, and it's Bes Kelmendi. How are you doing, Bez?
Good, thank you, Mike. Hi, Michael. Hi, Neil.
Thanks for reaching out, man. It's a pleasure to have you on here. And I know we met across Twitter, and obviously you've spoken to Neil for a bit as well. So yeah, great to have you on, and looking forward to hearing your take and your views on the Arsenal. So Sunday, definitely one of the strangest games of football I think I've watched in a long time, from start to finish. Obviously, a really tough to watch win, behind the sofa win, which is probably appropriate with Halloween around the corner. But I'll start with you, Bez. What was your take on initially the farce that took place at the start with the referees and everything, and how it was dealt with? Would you have looked at something different or dealt with it differently? And obviously your thoughts on the performance of the team.
Well, first and foremost, this issue of this VAR has to be at least do that, as we say in spot checks, is give and take. Like, make sure everything goes smoothly beforehand. Like they do in tennis, check everything works smoothly. Check if that goal line is working properly. I saw the referee, he did it after the game resumed, but I feel like, why can't you do that beforehand? Like, do it before you go to the game. Like, check everything works fine. Don't just wait. And then you have this moment within, I think, the first minute, because I missed a bit of the first half. I was like, why do you wait so long to do everything near the second break? Makes no sense. And in fairness to everyone, and I guess I'm going to sound very biased here because it's my team we're talking about, is like the resilience we showed throughout the game to go through, which we did all this battle. We felt like a battle, like a war zone, basically. And the showed, that's the second half, we've come a long way. And I spoke to Neil about this. I'm sure I spoke to you by messages. We've come a long way to show how far this team's come in space of at least in fairness to everyone, and for the club and both fans and players and managers alike in the team, we've come a long way in a year.
Yeah.
And I'm happy definitely very happy to see it to come with another away win, and an ugly win as well, as I call it now. It's another ugly win.
Yeah. I definitely think you're right. I mean, it's a game last year we probably would have lost. We can't forget the Everton game when we played really, really badly in that game as well, and we went 1-0 up in that game as well. And it was a terrible performance, and we ended up losing at the end. The United game we lost in that same week as well, when we sort of gave Ronaldo just a couple of goals. And obviously we won't touch on the Palace and the Newcastle games. We saw how delicate and how sensitive that still is for us. But yeah, those are probably games, a situation we went through on Sunday. We probably wouldn't have pulled it through or had the resilience to get through it. Neil, I know you struggled to watch the game, but you caught a lot of it or the audio. Obviously looking at it and looking at the highlights and everything, and looking about, what was your take on the performance and just where it sets us up for what we're going to be going towards in a couple of days?
It probably was our worst performance to date. There's no doubt about it. But I wouldn't say that I'm overly concerned just yet, because it's just one game. It's just one game. And all teams go through it. Even the great teams go through it. They have their blips and their moments, good patches, and then they have a few bad patches. And actually, if this is our bad patch and we're winning, well, you can't argue against that. I think the factors involved are we'd had a difficult tie against Bodo away. It's a cold climate. It's an artificial pitch that probably contributed. We didn't have much time to prepare for the game. Number two, Ellen Road is a very tricky place to go to in any circumstance. They haven't lost until they met us this season. I think they walloped Chelsea 3-0. They're a difficult team, and the manager's a good manager. He's got them playing good, aggressive, high intensity football. And I think we probably got very leggy in this, especially in the second half. There wasn't many good contributions as such. The front line wasn't really getting any service, so they were struggling. I think we were completely outmaneuvered in the midfield. So it really was down to our defence, and we became almost like what we have been used to seeing in the last couple of seasons, where we're literally just trying to get back and defend and just survive. That's what it felt like to me. But then, having said that, you were talking about we wanted to see Ramsdale have a good performance, and he did.
Yeah.
We even mentioned Gabriel, and out of the two, actually, he probably was the stronger out of him and Saliba. So I like that. But what I really liked is the fact that, all right, we were having a terrible time. There were all sorts of incidents throughout the whole game. But you know what? The character of the team, we still came through it. Yes, we can count ourselves lucky because their finishing wasn't on point. If their finishing had been better, they may have even won the game. Who knows? Because they had loads of chances. But end of the day, you've got to put the ball in the net, and they didn't. And that's down to a little bit of luck from us, and also some good defending and some great saves from Ramsdale. And it's a testament to the character of all of them that they went through all of that, especially coming from the away fixture in the Europa League. And we got through it. We've answered questions again. Going forward, if this becomes a consistent thing, then yes, I'll start being concerned. At the moment, to answer, if you ask me if I was concerned, no, not yet. That's how I saw it.
Any concerns from you, Bez? I mean, was there any particular situations that you kind of spooked you a little bit? And obviously, as a collective, we didn't seem to pull it out of the hat. But obviously, the little bit of magic between Odegaard and Saka. Besides, I mean, was there anything there that you was worried about? Was it down to fatigue, or was it just that just did perform?
I think touching on both on what you and Neil are saying. Sorry, basically, I do feel like the midweek performance, like we had it difficult. Obviously, the climate was very difficult. The not pitch, you can see the players maybe feel a bit. Hamasana Wenger a bit jaded. You can see something lacked inside, like in the team spirit.
Yeah.
Like for me, I can even say like on Sunday, I can see like the defensive unit was very quiet. Even the midfield too. Jacques Lampard looked a bit quiet for my liking. Like the one that I usually saw very commanding with their communication. I noticed, okay, yes, when Gabriel got the initial red card, he had to be pulled back to say, please, just stay calm. Okay, it's a red card, but VR will up. And thankfully, justice prevailed. For once in our life, VR actually worked. And as me and Neil touched upon about this before, and on time, thank God that he got involved, because I feel like in that situation, you have to stay calm. The evidence is there, as a man in football, you need to realize now the camera that will be watching you, every move you do, it will be justified. It did. And I'm so happy that at least, thankfully, he got overturned. And I can see now all these media pundits, I have given a big list right now, which I've been talking to some other mates of mine, they've become very salty, and I'm not enjoying it. How they've come a long way, But I guess it's a family show. He's very much something I won't say. Right, I won't say yet. But I'll keep it me for now.
Give it a couple more appearances, and I'll let you have a free shot. Yeah. when you get your third cap, like Neil's caps are in the post, like his brown envelope. So he'll get his cap soon. But when you've had a couple, Bez, so keep it calm, please.
20 years a gooner now, so surely fire will eventually come out.
So obviously, again, I'm gonna ask a question. I mean, there's lots of stuff being said about Saka. He went to the Ballon d'Or Awards last night. He finished 8th, which was ridiculous. They gave it to Gavi for Barcelona, which is just, again, it's a political thing. Let's keep Barcelona in the spotlight because they're not doing so well. But again, I've asked Neil multiple times about his contract situation. Are you worried at all, Bez, about him signing a new contract, or you think he's going to play it out for maybe till after the World Cup, or do you think it's already done and we're just going to wait for the right time to drop it? Maybe probably when we lose a game, they want to probably drop some good news.
In his defence, in his heart, he's all Arsenal DNA. As Neil knows, he's Arsenal DNA. Both him and Smith Rowe, for me, since day one.
Yeah.
As much as I want to say, I'm a big fan of Smith Rowe, but both of them equally, I love them to bits. Shame that Smith was injured, because we'll need him for the second half of the season with his pace, with his finishing. Saka and that picture, well, first time seeing that picture, the way he took that goal there, was just, I just had nostalgia vibes.
Yeah.
I can give you any name you want, any, and I mean legend for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Just seeing him go alone, it just brought me so much nostalgia. So I hope he can sign at least, I think, given the World Cup, and let him go to the World Cup. Let him enjoy it. Let him enjoy himself. Let him, I'll say, given the situation, let him basically thrive in the experience being his first World Cup.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no more issues. Touch wood on that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Calm head. Show them that look, he's playing for the shirt, which is his country. Just let him play. Let him be free. Let him be himself, basically. Because it's not fair the way he got treated after the Euros. I, for one, growing up in this country from immigrant family as well, was not nice to see, and it hurt me inside to say no one should go through that.
Yeah.
One bit, especially if you pick a country like England, a footballing nation that we are, and to get treated like this on the side. I'm sorry, there's no need for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. I mean, Neil, it was great that he scored the goal, only just to shut up the Leeds fans that were giving him so much grief in that corner there, and obviously a little rascal that was in the corner giving a nice little hand gestures in there. I'm sure his parents and his school teacher will love that. Not that we're talking writers or anything, but I'm sure he'll have some probably sign some autographs when he went to his school, knowing up there what they like up there. But yeah,
making me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was again. He stepped up. He was a star boy in that moment, Neil. And what can you say about him and his what he's doing to almost not identical goals, but similar situations, breaking through on that angle and showing the clinical side. I mean, do you play him on Thursday, or is he jumping a bit?
What I think, well, I'll answer the first part. There's nothing left to say about him. He carried us for a season and a half, 2 seasons before this one. With them with Smith Rowe, as Bes pointed out. Some great points made by Bes. I love the fact that he used the word nostalgia when he started speaking about him, because he is already a legend for me. And we will replay some of his stuff in the future, surely, when he hangs up his boots. And that's it's a mark of a good player, and we all know he is. And the funny thing with Saka is, I was screaming for him to have a rest, and I was so worried about him. And in fact, he's turned around and he's becoming the guy to be relied upon again. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's got. I don't know whether he has 8 Weetabix in the morning. I don't know what it is, or 15 shredded wheat. But there's something. It's just. And the thing is, he's so strong. There's so much about him, Michael. His character, his mentality. He doesn't let things get to him. He keeps a cool head.
Yeah.
He gets antagonized. Because they know he's a danger man. The opposition go for him in 2s and 3s. He gets kicked around, pushed around, and he just gets up, brushes himself off, and gets on with it. And that was a fantastic goal. We can't underestimate the good work by Odegaard, because that was amazing what he did. But Saka, his pace and the clinical finish, that's the part of the stream which I did see. And I was just like, I didn't even celebrate, because I thought it'd hit the side, he'd gone wide. And they were going, it's in.
Yeah. And
I thought he must have got deflection. It didn't. It was a clean shot. I mean, first time. And, I think he can handle it. I used to be worried that maybe the fact that a lot of emphasis is on him being the star man, or the star boy, as we like to call him. And is that going to get to him? But I think he can just ride it. He just has his ability to ride it. So to answer your second question, I think Thursday is paramount importance. Yes, we all know the league is the priority. Getting the top 4 is priority. I completely get it. But I think winning a third trophy in Europe is also important for us as a club. And I think I think because Arteta doesn't want to leave it till the fifth or the sixth match, and he knows that we'll get a bye if we become top. I think he's actually going to feel quite a strong team on Thursday. We know PSV's strong; they're banging in goals for fun in this league, and I think he'll go strong. And because it's at home, I think he'll feel comfortable that the players are not getting that much of a rest that they might need, but at least we're not travelling away. And I think he will play quite a strong team, and that will include Saka for me.
Okay, interesting. You Bez, what would you play him, or would you think he needs a bit of a rest after his efforts on Sunday?
No, knowing Saka as a superstar that he is, and as Starboys, I still appreciate him since day one. I think he needs to play because he's got that drive that he kicks the team forward. I mean, Odegaard again has touched what Neil said with you both, where you said that they really ignited that spark that you saw. Like they closed down Rodrigo, ball came to them, and literally they drew the ball to themselves. They didn't change, and the ball just went in. I honestly thought to myself, I need to rewatch it to see it was actually a goal, because it just didn't feel like it was a goal. We're not known for scoring those type of goals. And I'm thinking, given the situation too, as Neil was saying, that we need to play a stronger team on Thursday. Again, I know it's a family show. I history of Vanessa, right? I think it just makes it more special. I know, Neil.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old that day when that happened.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, just give it to him. Just tell him, look, this is the Arsenal of new. This is new generation now. I know he's a man. He was a player for United. Arteta was a player for us too when we needed him.
Yeah.
Play as strong as you can, but also throw caution to the wind. If Saka can play only one half, fine, start him. See how he feels. You can tell him if you don't play the whole game, remove him for the sake of the game, protect him for at least for Sunday, and then just have him there ready for the next one. At least then, I'm not saying I don't want that young boy, 15-year-old boy to play just yet, but I would love to see more of him. Because Saka, in the making. Again, early to say, but God, what surprise we have in store with our youth team now. I'll say as well, again, I know I'm not against Matt Turner because I'm a big fan of him so far, but I'll say maybe on Thursday night, maybe play Aaron Ramsdale just to be safe, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah. I mean, Matt Turner is solid so far, but I feel like given Ramsdale's antics, as I call it, he has his lovely multi G's up there, away fans, he's behind that. What do you want? I love that. He has
that's a good point, actually. Sorry to interrupt, Michael. I don't often disagree with Bez, but I actually think Turner has done well, and I think he deserves to start. I think he's done well, Bez. And, if he's going to be our cover goalkeeper, I think he needs to get as many minutes as he possibly can in. And I don't think he's really done much wrong in this competition so far. And I think it would be quite wrong to take him out now. We're not. It's different if it was a must-win game to keep us in the competition. Then I agree. Then I think maybe it might be better to put Ramsdale in. But we're top of the league. The win will, in theory, probably make us. Will certainly get us through, and possibly we'll have done enough to finish top as well. So I think just stick with Turner. For me, anyway, it's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think. I tend to agree. I think he played well against Bodo Glimt. I was probably the only one that came out with a bit of credit. I probably could say. He got a clean sheet. He got obviously another clean sheet. He what he was asked to do, he did well. He got down to a couple of shots pretty well. I definitely think if we get deep into the competition, which we hope to, Bez, you're looking at semi-finals, and you would probably start to go towards playing, your Ramsdales, especially if we're up against some big teams. But I think at the moment in the group stages, I think he definitely will stick with him out of respect, I think, to the player, and probably on the chat he probably had with both of them and say, look, your Europa League and League Cup, but that's you. And the league is Ramsdale, and obviously if something big happens, any injuries happen, then yes, we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. But I think I definitely think he will go slightly stronger, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But obviously, talking about Ramsdale, I thought he was great. He was great on Sunday. Again, another mature performance we saw. So I'm sure you saw the footage of him winding up the Leeds fans again, like he loves doing, which is great, especially at full time. That was great stuff. But just touching on another one of our back line, Mr. Gabriel Magalhaes. Is there, obviously he seems to have been at the forefront of a few, barbs and shots at his way. As you touched on, Bez, his reaction to the red card was, he was a little bit, he was getting to the stage where he was a bit over the top. He was going mad. Obviously, he felt, the lack of justice, because a little bit like Vieira, exactly the same way Vieira and Van Nistelrooy, the way Vieira reacted, he went ballistic because he didn't touch the guy. You're sending me off as I didn't even touch the guy. So totally take that. It was great to see Granit Xhaka being the man to talk to him and telling him to calm down, and literally face to face saying, "Look, and party as well." So that was really good. That was amazing. I mean, who would have saw that a couple of years ago? But we can. He's been a great servant for us so far. I think what we find in the fan base, as we know, there's a lot of revisionism to players as soon as they have a bad game or as soon as they make a couple of mistakes. All of a sudden, all the good stuff and everything he's done the last couple of years is just sort of thrown to the wayside, and it's like, okay, we need to replace him. We need to get someone better. This guy, he held the fort when people like David Luiz was messing about, and then when he was the main guy, to step in and keep things solid at the back for us. He popped up with some really important goals, but I just think the guy is very a little bit emotional. I think he has a pride thing. When he's up against someone who's a bit physical, he wants to show that he's a stronger man. And I think he's shown that in games against physical strikers, which I've mentioned before. When he's up against someone who gives him a barge, he takes offense to that. I'm the big man here. Who you think, and it sort of throws him off his game a bit. And Rio Ferdinand said something today about he doesn't like centre backs to be talked about. You rather a centre back just go about his business, get a 7, 8 out of 10, and come off the pitch. And you talk about the midfielder, you talk about the striker, but the centre backs, he's for his position, he's a little bit too emotional. You need to be a little bit colder. And you look at his partner, and he is that model. He is that guy. He's so cold. He doesn't let anything fluster him. It's like he's going out for a game of Hackney Marshes, just playing with some 12-year-olds, Saliba. He had a shaky game, but he didn't. You look at his face. I mean, that guy would be a fantastic poker player. He would be unreal. He just can't read the guy. His face is just like a block of ice, sort of thing. But yeah, I don't think there's any reason to drop Gabriel. I think some people are saying we should drop him and we should maybe play Ben White and then Saliba on the side and things like that. You guys aren't on that track, are you? On that train, are you? Or what are you thinking?
I'll let Neil speak. I'll be the gentleman. I'll let Neil speak, and I'll say my.
Thanks, Bez. Thanks, cheers. Appreciate that. Can we not get him on again, mate?
to Gabriel.
Bless him. I'm only joking. No, I don't think we should. I think. Look, we spoke about the fact that the surprising thing is at the start of the season, I thought Saliba and Gabriel, they've got to form a great partnership, and they started doing that. I always thought that it would be Saliba that would be being mentored by Gabriel. It turned out to be the other way around. If anything, it was Saliba that was mentoring and being the stronger of the two. But actually, on the game on Sunday, it was probably the first time I saw the reverse. Saliba is probably his worst game, and I'm not saying it was terrible, but it was probably his worst game, and that's only because he's been playing so exceptionally well. Even a slight dip in form is going to show up, a million, so widely. And it was Gabriel that had a good performance. His stats showed that he's had a really good performance actually. Yeah. Apart from, a couple of mistakes possibly, but I think that's the pressure of the fact that because we weren't playing as we normally do, there was so much pressure on that back line, and let's not forget Leeds. Leeds were playing very, very well. They were exceptional, to be fair. The only thing they lacked was the finishing product. Apart from that, they were producing some fine moves. Yeah. And they're a young team. They've got bags of energy. The manager gets them to play that way as well, and to play to their strengths. The introduction of Bamford changed everything for them. But at the end of the day, that possibly might have led to a couple of errors and the pressure getting to them a little bit. And I don't think either of the two have been tested this much so far. Not even against Liverpool or Tottenham. They have not been tested like this. So this was a fair measure or a measuring stick to see how they would cope. And, as it transpires, despite anything that might have gone wrong and might not have gone our way, we still managed to walk away with 3 points. And that's got to buoy them 100%. And I think it's not probably wrong to drop him now, because if anything, he'll want to come back and prove himself even more so, because he's probably hurting like the others who maybe not have performed so well, saying this wasn't a great performance from us. Right, we've got to get back out there and show everyone what we're really made of, and that was just a one-off. So no, I would in 100 years I would drop him. No, not yet. I think let them play on. Let's see what they've got and how they respond to this. And it's me saying how they respond, but we won. It's really bizarre, isn't it?
Yes.
Bizarre.
And Bez, you got the last word.
I agree with you both, because I think Gabriel doesn't need to be dropped, because Saliba, they're being with him, and I already spoke with Neil. Saliba will benefit him more or less in this cold months. You can see because Saliba has learned a lot in France the last 2 years. Again, I've talked to Neil about this, but I've got a sneaky suspicion these two will be just like Sigan was with Campbell. Campbell made Sigan look ordinary when he looked out of his depth before the Invincible season, if I remember correctly. Or even after. I was telling you, Neil, again, I know I don't want to jinx it, but Saliba reminds me of Sol Campbell. Does the job, focuses, okay, it was a penalty, it's there to be given. I understand it can happen to anyone. He remained calm. He didn't have his best game, Saliba. Mm-hmm. Even Gabriel had a decent game, had his moments, lapse of was allowed, Bamford, we know he's a bit of combative sort of striker. We've seen this before, but I guess we just weren't ready for him, I guess, when he came on. Yeah. But I like the fact I want to keep both on. I don't know why people want to drop them. When they go good understanding, they both played in France before, if I'm correctly. Because Gabriel has played in France before, if I'm correct. And surely both know each other. Like this is needed in this situation. Control the game one side, one of them, control yourself well, and then also when they're both needed, control yourself in the moment. Stay calm, because otherwise you lose your head, as we saw on Sunday. Here, they get involved easily. Gabriel being sent off, we'll miss him for Sunday when we need him again, and we're a bit up in short of numbers there, which is not needed at all. I know we have players building up, but I just feel like please stay calm, especially the early months. It's still, it's crazy to think it's only the second month of the season, and I'm happy to say I am actually chuffed to see this team keeping going this speed of drive of the team. Everything seems to be smooth sailing, but let's keep it like this. Don't lose the focus, but keep the morale up. Don't lose the. How can I say this? Don't lose the desire of this club who gives you this spotlight now. Shall we say?
Yeah, I mean, Bez. I mean, to be honest, according to all the pundits and the experts, we should have lost about 3 or 4 games by now. So, what do they know?
That's my response. Joke's on you, because we'll come a long way in a year. I'll first today again, but we'll start it. I'll put you guys.
Okay, so we've got some obviously every game is a big game, but we've got a big one on Thursday and Sunday, and we'll talk about those two just after this. So we entertain this guy on Thursday. Hopefully we get some of that. If he doesn't get on the touchline, hopefully he'll get it from behind him with those Arsenal fans sitting behind, hopefully. But Neil, we have obviously we've touched on it before. We can pretty much put the first place to bed if we get the result on Thursday. You obviously touched on the team and playing Saka or maybe not playing, but is there anyone else that you definitely would like to see on Thursday night? I mean, I would jump and I would say definitely want to see Vieira play in Odegaard's position. But I mean, is there anyone that you would a couple of players you would definitely like to see?
Turner for Ramsdale. Nketiah, obviously, Eddie's got to play. He's got to get these minutes. He's got to be first choice for these games, without doubt. And I do think Jesus needs. I think it was wrong playing Jesus for Leeds. It might not be a great opinion, and it might not be a popular one. I think Eddie should have started for that game because I think he was hurt against Liverpool. He was hurt. He was knocked out. He was battered again, as you said, Michael. I don't think he should have played that game, or at least he should have been on the bench, and he could have come on if needed. So he's got to be Eddie. It's got to be Vieira. I think because of the magnitude and the importance of it, he'll probably still start with Saka and Martinelli on the wings. I even think he might even start partying Xhaka. I really do. And then he might bring on Lukonga if things are going well a bit later on. And in the back, I can see Tomiyasu. Let's hope he starts on the right. Tierney on the left. And do I say Holding and Gabriel, or do I say Saliba and Gabriel? That's the only thing I'm not sure. Because I don't know, he might want to give one of the two a rest. So that's not dropping them, as we were talking about earlier. I'm just talking about giving them a rest. But apart from that, I can see a fairly strong side with probably 3 or 4 changes with the team that we saw for Leeds. That's my opinion.
Yep, cool. Bez, would you go along the same lines as Neil, or would you?
Indeed, I do. For the life of me, do think, why did Gabriel Jesus start? Sorry, too many Gabriels in our team. Why did Gabriel Jesus on Sunday? For the life of me, I don't know. He looks like a player who needs a little bit of a break. He deserves it. Don't get me wrong, because he's literally given us a little spark that we needed in that leading line. Because he's got the experience. A young man, he drives the team forward. But why do you play against Leeds when you got Eddie Nketiah, who's actually ready now to at least to push on? When he's not, say, when Gabriel's not needed, let Eddie in this again be free. Let him free roam, basically. That's what saying in this comment. Let him be himself again. Defensive unit, I'll say again, stick with Gabriel and Saliba, because Saliba again will complement Gabriel and vice versa. Start Tierney. I do love the guy too, as much as Zinchenko, because he offers more again up front, as we know. On the right, I'll say again, I'm torn between, again, I'd love to see more Tomiyasu, because I feel he needs to grow more to the game since he's been a bit, out of the games. Again, give him more minutes for me. Obviously, I do agree, and going back with my own response, but I'll say, definitely now, on second thought, I'll say keep Turner, let him grow in the confidence. I believe he's not fully kind of like not played at home yet, so let our fans appreciate him, Him being American, as you know, they get a lot of.
But Bez, can I stop you there? Just one second. Sorry to interrupt, but I was at the Bodo game, the home game. The fans were well behind him. They were singing. They were really behind. So that's a great thing. Go on. Sorry, Karen.
Totally fine. We're here to agree and disagree. Do you understand as well? Like, clearly, we need to let him again. Even as second thought, me thinking now, let him be free again. Let him turn around. Let him enjoy what it's like to play for this fan base. At least in front of them. More. He seems thriving again. I don't talk too much about the body way leg, but he seems very comfortable. He seems to learn from Ramsdale, which is great to see. The flanks as well. I mean, I do want to say again, play Saka, but at the same time, I'll say don't risk him against PSV. But again, God knows what plan we have. I do want to see more Vieira, because that's an iconic name. We know the history behind that. As you know, the famous number 4. I wish he has 4 instead of 21. I hope Ben White changes his mind down the line. Just give us number again, please. Eddie. I wouldn't mind starting Eddie on Thursday night. Again, leave Jesus just as backup. If it looks like strong, let's say first off, it looks a bit, a bit rough. Let him wait. Let him actually tell him, like, Eddie's needed as well, but we need you too. Shall the game, gets a bit slow. He's been there, a bit more tempo, shall we say? Again, it's tricky, this one, but I'll say, as much as I don't say Reece Nelson, but the Reece Nelson's shame. He only had an injury. He seems a bit on and off. I'll say keep Martinelli for the time being, because Martinelli looks a different player again this year. Seems like going to be an unsung hero for me so far.
It's going to be it's going to be interesting, because I think the Leeds, they're said last night, they're such a horrible team to play against, and and people don't show them the respect. I'm sure their running stats are off the charts, or right at the top of everyone else that is up there. And there was again a stat that they seem to just cause so much chaos and confusion against opposition teams that they just make mistakes and make errors. They lose control of the ball, and we saw that. We saw that on Sunday. And you can't have it both ways. People want to say, the Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. That's why it's the greatest in the world. But then when you don't put in a performance or you don't beat a team 3-0 every week, then you get sort of criticised for it. So you can't have it both ways. You can't go to places like Brentford. Obviously, we put in a demolition job there, but you have to respect. You can't say it's the most competitive league. And you can see it is because the results that have happened this season, Southampton have beaten Chelsea, which we'll talk about in a minute. We've got Southampton soon. Leeds beat Chelsea. We beat Liverpool. Liverpool have beaten Man City, who, so it's competitive. So you have to take that. You have to take that into account. But I definitely think that Xhaka will play Thursday because that's his. That's like his comfort blanket. He always plays in there because mainly he hasn't got anyone else who can do that sort of job, unless it would have been Shevchenko, but he's injured. I think obviously we know about Gakpo and the danger, possible danger he is on the left hand side. So maybe Tomiyasu against him, matching him, playing him in his natural position. Ben White, like you said, Bez, he looked absolutely shattered when he came off. He was proper gasping. He looked so knackered, and he played against Bodo Glimt over there on the plastic pitch. I know he came off as well in that game, but he looked shattered. So I'll play Tomiyasu. And the good thing is that probably bar maybe centre defence with Holding coming in. The level doesn't really drop. Tierney's top draw, Tomiyasu's top class. So the level doesn't drop that much. But obviously, hopefully, if Nelson plays, then he'll step up and improve a little bit on his first half performance. I would say against Bodo Glimt, his first half performance was good, but I would say, I think he's going to go strong on Thursday as well. I think I agree with you guys, and we've got a squad. He's got to trust the squad now, hasn't he? He's got to give these guys minutes, and obviously this is his squad now. Him and Edu, they built it really, really good squad. You've got to trust it. You've got to give them their time and let them, like as you said, Bez, let them enjoy it, let them have the freedom to play. Let them become Arsenal players. You're giving them 5-10 minutes or whatever. And you've got to let them give them 90 minutes. So hopefully, it'll be a big crowd again, and for Thursday night, and hopefully we'll crack on. And then that leads to Southampton, who are a side that we've have up and down. We sort of turn them over at home, or have good. We beat them 3-0 at home last season. I think we scored one of the goals of the season last year with that goal Lacazette scored, which we started right from the passing all the way through them. But obviously then we lost away from home to them in a game that we should have won, no matter the chances we had. Bez, it's going to be about rotation again for that one, isn't it? This is the thing. What do you go strong in that one, or do you take similar selection choices for the game against PSV, or is it all dependent on what happens on Thursday night?
I think rotation is very important. Any given manager's credentials now, since we're almost, let's say, mid-October, if I'm correct. Yeah, we are mid-October. So rotate, I'll say, as much as you can, but keep the players that you see who show signs of commitment, who drive the team forward, keep them there. Like, say, Saka, he's undroppable. I hate to say it. I do want him to rest. The season will be more tough when he comes back for the World Cup. I guess, keep him there, let him free roam. But I'll say at the same time, think about Sunday, because Sunday, again, is like a game you don't want to lose, as we know, because it's away and it'll be harder than most games we've experienced so far. I know the Leeds game was tough, as Neil touched upon. Now you said as well. So I'll say prepare for, see how Thursday goes, see how the training goes on, I think, on Friday. Obviously, I know they have a Saturday, maybe a little last-minute training bits and bobs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure, you pick the right one who seems the most ready for the game on Sunday. At least give them that little push to say, look, you play on Thursday like this, focus on one game in this moment, one at a time. When the time comes, be ready for battle when I need you, understand? It's like I do see Arteta has become more strict with them, and you do see it on the pitch. They do understand me a little bit more better, which I guess the point across. Thankfully, for once, he actually is working. I'll say, so go strong on Thursday, but at the same time, if there's need for rotation, but please keep in mind you need to do it as a manager. But half the players are not playing on Thursday. If not, try to play them on Sunday. But say, just make sure you have the right bunch, the right group, the right set, shall I say.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I know it's tricky. I don't want to fully engage with this part of it, but it's like me saying to you, you have the great home leg, which I hope we do win against PSV on Thursday. I don't want to jinx anything. But at the same time, be prepared for Sunday because Southampton will throw everything at us. I know they've done in the past.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Be ready for everything now. This league is very competitive, as we see again. This league, anyone can beat anybody. And I said to Neil before, anyone can beat anybody. And it proves again, over and over. Crazy, this league.
100%. Neil, Southampton. Again, it's pretty much what happens on knock-on effects. Obviously, what happens on Thursday, is it, or do you just go super strong in that one, or do you rotate again?
I think what Bez said, mate, is exactly right. We got to be careful. It depends on what the fallout is, if there's any on Thursday. See what happens, and then it's difficult to kind of make an assessment now before we've even played the game against PSV. I think that we need to get through that, see how everything is, how the players are. I expect it to be, touch wood, I expect it to be okay, because I think if we were away at PSV this week, I think I'd have been more concerned. But because we're at home, and again, Southampton isn't that far, is it, for the lads to travel?
Yeah.
It's not a big ask in respect of travelling this week, which is the opposite of last week. Last week was a blooming nightmare. For all the players. At least this time they're at home. They can get back to their families or their loved ones a lot quicker, and then they'll have probably a little bit more time to prepare for Southampton. The manager will have a little bit more time with them, and hopefully, if there are no injuries or anything, anyone's like feeling a little bit tired from the endeavours of the game, then we'll be able to pick our best 11. Because at the end of the day, like we've all mentioned, the league is still the priority, and the league, we have to always play our best players in their best positions. We have to keep that momentum going and going and going, and not let up, especially when teams like Man City are dropping points. We have to capitalise on it, because Man City are going to be on our heels constantly. We've seen them, literally have these boxing matches, Liverpool and Man City, going all the way to the final round, right to the bell, literally, and then one of the team winning it on a card. And that's exactly what they've been doing. And, if we are going to be, as I believe we're going to win the league, if that's going to be the case, they're going to be on our heels constantly. So we have to take every opportunity. We have to win these games. Can I just say one thing? Just watching your little ticker tape thing go across with the upcoming fixtures.
Yeah.
I was having a look at the fixtures that we've got before the World Cup break. And barring, for me, on paper, barring probably the Wolves away game and the Chelsea away game, I think all the rest are winnable. I really believe that. And there's always markers in any season to see how well you probably might end up at the end of the day in May. We've done the 10 game marker, and we 27 out of 30. Come on, guys, that's
crazy,
right?
Crazy, yeah.
I think by the World Cup break, because effectively that is going to be our winter break, isn't it? When the World Cup starts, I think. Apart from those 2 games, Wolves away and Chelsea away, which are going to be tough, I think, all the rest are winnable, guys. I really mean that. And so I think we're going to still be in a very good position come the start of the World Cup. So, and then we're going to have some of the players be rested. The manager will be rested. The manager can think about a proper couple of transfers in the January window. It's all looking good, guys.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. We've... It is exciting times, 100%. We're seeing a young team, something that we've always wanted from our teams, to play for the badge, give 100%, know what it means to play, and obviously play with a bit of style and some goals, and that's what we're seeing. And we've got someone who gets it. I was someone that didn't think he was the man, mainly because of his lack of inexperience. It wasn't because I hated the guy or whatever. It just felt that an Arsenal job should go to someone that he's experienced. When he first took the job, I think we all obviously, I wanted him to do well. You always wanted to do well, and he won the cup and everything. But then when things started to go wrong, you thought, well, that's because of the lack of experience. And obviously, look at what he's doing now with that experience he's gained. And yeah, just I'm not one of these guys that's going to be like, oh, I'm refuse to admit that I'm wrong, whatever. I admit that I'm wrong, and I'm glad that that Arteta is still our manager because of what he's built. I mean, everyone who was having shots at us are now saying, "Oh, look at the Arsenal model. Look at what Arteta's done." United are looking at the same way, building us up, building up the same way, and they just hate the fact that we're doing it, and we seem to be on a fantastic track. But no, guys, it's been great to talk to you both. Thank you so much for your time. I'll always say that. Bez, it was a fantastic debut, my friend. Thanks for coming on. Neil, another 9 out of 10 performance as usual.
Only 9?
No, only 9. I'm kidding me.
See, there's no. He's what's your name, Lakonga? You don't get enough minutes. You can just start moaning in an interview. What's the matter with you?
Michael, now, can I just say, Bez was brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on, Bez. You were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Fantastic.
Really great points from you, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. So
Yeah,
well done.
fantastic.
I love the viewers when they watch this. I can talk about Arsenal all day if I could. All day I talk about F1. Those are my main 2 sports, or my main 2 loves, as I say. My main 2 good things when things go hard is pandemic, as Neil will know. When actually kind of like we talk about, this team always make me happy. The memories they've given me growing up as a man in this country.
Nice.
I'll give you a certain year. Give me a year in these last 30 years, shall I say. I can give you a play of the book. That 08, 09 for me just stays off shoving.
Yeah,
But just the memories you left behind were just wonderful to have, Always cherish them. Even if it's, see again, people play for the shirt, That's what carries you through the hardship of life. I tell people, everything will be fine at the end, Same with F1. We had Schumacher, we had Lewis Hamilton. Now, sadly, Lewis doesn't have the right team to do it all, but he still keeps there, he keeps that there. That's what I still follow him. I still keep that, passion in life, shall we say, as a fan,
No, great. No, thanks for coming on, man. I really, really appreciate it. I'll be back maybe later this week with Steve, possibly just having a recap of the PSV game.
Sure.
Possibly that's not guaranteed. I'll just show you guys this because I think we should let this man have the last word. It's looking good, Brev. I think we should maybe. It's looking good, Bez. It's looking good, Bez. I'll try and page it. It's looking good, Bez. Yeah. Thanks for your time again, guys.
Thank you.
As usual, I've been Michael Harris. He's been Bes Kelmendi. He's over there. Yeah. And he, of course, has been Neil, Champions-elect Shah. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share, and hopefully see you on the next one. All the best. Come on, you Reds.